Hi, this is Joe again here with Dave with Las Virgenes Water District. And Dave, I'm hoping you could tell me a little bit about where we are and what this place is.
Sure, thanks Joe. Good to be back with you. We're here at the Tapia Water Reclamation Facility. It's one of our 4 major facilities. It functions to treat all of the wastewater for the region, and we're standing right over the aeration basins here.
Okay, so how long has Tapia been here and serving the community?
So Tapia's been here a long time. It was originally built in 1965, and believe it or not, the cost was only $420,000 to build the original portion of the plant, which was a half an MGD.
Wow. So Dave, what led to the creation of this facility?
Well, back in the 1960s, shortly after the district was formed, imported water had been brought to the region, and so the focus shifted to also treating the wastewater. And Las Virgenes Municipal Water District joined forces with the Triunfo Sanitation District and formed a joint powers authority called the Las Virgenes Triunfo Joint Powers Authority. And that was formed in 1964, and then a year later in '65, the first portion of the Tapia Water Reclamation Facility was built here at this site. It was a half an MGD at that time.
Wow, so how much water does the facility treat now, today?
Today it has a capacity to treat up to 12 MGD, but we're seeing average flows in the range of 7 to 8 MGD, mostly because of conservation that has been the focus of California Water for now several decades.
So the customers they've been doing a pretty good job of conserving, at least the indoor water, they've been conserving pretty well, right?
They have, they really have. We've just come out of, for the most part, the emergency part of a 5-year drought. And we can see that customers are doing a good job in conservation because we see less water coming into the plant. And so we see a difference between pre-drought and post-drought flows into the treatment plant, and that tells us people are doing a good job at home to save water.
So Dave, I was hoping you could tell me a little bit about how the wastewater gets here and what's happening. What do we see behind us, and what's the process? What's happening at the wastewater plant?
Sure, it's pretty fascinating how the process works here, but it starts in everybody's home. When you flush your toilet or do your dishes or take a shower, all that water that goes down the drain makes its way to the treatment plant here. For the most part, it flows entirely by gravity here. And behind us is where the process begins at the headworks. It makes its way through 3 treatment steps. What we're doing here is called tertiary water treatment, which really means that there's 3 steps in the treatment process. We're standing above the aeration basins, which is step 2 in the 3-step process. When you look down in the basin here, you see that the water is pretty dirty, or appears pretty dirty. It actually does not come in looking like this. The water that comes into the plant actually looks quite a bit cleaner. It's 99% water. But what you're seeing in here is a mix of the wastewater with a whole bunch of microorganisms that are doing the job of treating that water through a biological process. This floating machine here is a mixer, helps to keep the water mixed and moving in the tanks here. The water moves through these tanks and then moves on to the next step of the process, which involves clarification and filtration and then disinfection. Ultimately, the product that we make is recycled water, and it's distributed throughout the district through a network of purple pipes.
Okay, so that's the water that folks use for irrigation. It's not potable, they don't drink it, but you could use it on your plants.
That's right, that's right. You'll see it throughout the district, irrigating parks and schools, cemeteries, golf courses, and the like.
So yeah, this water right here looks pretty brown, looks pretty dirty. So how clean is it before it gets discharged into Malibu Creek?
Well, I think it's probably a good idea for you to come and take a look at it and see for yourself. But what you'll find is very clean. It's among the cleanest water in the creek.
Okay. So Dave, where are we standing right now? Because I'm looking at this water that's coming out. It looks pretty darn clean. Can you talk to us a little bit about where we're at in the process at this point?
So right now we're standing over the final effluent basin. This is the fully treated water at the end of the treatment process. So what we're seeing here is what you'd call Title 22 recycled water. And what that means is all this water has gone through the 3 steps of the treatment process that I talked about earlier. It's been disinfected, and it's now ready to be served to customers as recycled water through our Purple Pipe network.
So some of this water goes to customers for irrigation purposes, not for drinking, but some of it also gets discharged to the Malibu Creek. Is that correct?
That's right. So we're in the summertime right now, and during the summertime, when the creek flows, Malibu Creek flows drop below a certain level, we actually add water to the creek for endangered fish. We have 2 endangered fish in our creek system here, the Tidewater goby and the southern steelhead. And so the water that you see coming out of that pipe there is a minimal amount of water that's needed to put in the creek to support the fish that are there. The remainder of the water is all pumped out through the pump station here, up into our system, and ultimately distributed to parks and schools and golf courses and cemeteries.
So it's my understanding we're going to be putting less water into the creek and using more water for the PureWater project. So can you talk to us a little bit about the PureWater project and how that comes into play?
Sure, that's right. So we'll always be doing what we're doing right now, which is adding water to the creek for fish. We're planning to continue that forward. The one thing though that we won't be doing is discharging the large volumes of water that we used to during the winter time. So in managing our recycled water system, one of the challenges we have and other operators have is that we have more water than we have demands for in the winter time. We don't have that problem in the summer. So in the winter, we actually will normally discharge water to the creek. And if you look behind us here, those weirs are actually where that happens. The water will literally flow over those weirs and flow out to the creek. What we're planning to do through our PureWater project is to capture all of those flows that normally would go out to the creek and to the ocean and put them to beneficial use by making drinking water. And we do that through the PureWater project.
Why is the PureWater project important for the region and our community?
The project's really important to provide a local source of water supply. Our biggest challenge here in the Las Virgenes Conejo Valley is that we have no local sources of water. In fact, that's why our agency, Las Virgenes, was formed in the first place, is to bring imported water to the region. We are not fortunate enough to have clean, plentiful groundwater like many areas. And so we need to rely on the resources that we have, and this is one of them. And so this project, what it will do is help us to put a resource that was formerly not fully utilized and put it to its full use by making drinking water. So in the long term, our plan is to produce up to 15% of our water supply by reusing our wastewater, treating it to drinking water standards.
15% is, what kind of volume is that? I know we'd like to talk in acre feet. What are we looking at, like, on an annual basis?
Right, so on an annual basis, it's about 5,000 acre feet a year ultimately. So if you think of an acre foot is about the amount to fill a football stadium 1 foot deep.
Okay.
That's an acre foot.
And right now, our consumers use about how much a year total?
About 20,000 acre feet.
Okay. And so Dave, it really sounds like this does bring our water full circle.
It does. Water is really too valuable to use only once, and so we focused a lot on bringing water full circle. We think this is the best way to do it. You think about the process that we've proposed here, and it really starts with the customers at their homes. We take that water, we bring it through a rigorous treatment process, and then return it to their homes as the highest, most purified water in our system.
Thank you. I want to thank you again, Dave, so much.
Thanks, Joe.
And to our audience, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more to come.